Hi everyone, my name is Julianne Johnston. Today I'll be presenting my professional interview paper, Meet the Expert. Among the valued experts I'm fortunate to have as my colleagues, there were a few choices I'd considered for my professional interview. But I decided to go to the top and interview my Director of Education, Dr. Catherine Allgore. After completing her education in drama and theater arts, Dr. Allgore's early career was spent as a historical interpreter with Plymouth Plantation in Massachusetts. It was another 10 years before she decided to continue her education, switching to studying history, specifically American history, at Yale University. Because of her dedicated work in women's history and First Ladies, she has served as consultant to the Office of the First Lady, on the board of the Massachusetts Historical Society, and was recently elected to the Board of Trustees for the National Women's History Museum. She was also a professor of history at Harvard, Claremont McKenna College, and the University of California, Riverside. Her writings have been featured in numerous journals, and she's also written 4 books on Dolly Madison and other First Ladies in early American history. In 2012, she decided to make a change and spend the latter part of her career leading in a different educational arena and expanding the audience she can serve. Catherine Allgore came to the Huntington in early 2013 and in the first 20 months has turned a department into a division, overseeing various programs that design and implement programs for schools, teachers, and the general public. Part of her position as Director of Education requires her to serve as Senior Staff Advisory to the President of the Huntington. While she doesn't raise funds, she has a vital role in expressing what is needed. In other words, she helps to focus the money but is not a fundraiser. When asked of any challenges in her position, she expressed an important aspect of her role as director is to be a manager of her staff of about 20 people in the education division. Among her own daily responsibilities, she feels strongly to ensure people are happy with their jobs, that they're doing what they love, and guiding their next step in their professional career. She also indicated it's not always easy to encourage others to share her vision, or the vision for the educational mission of the Huntington. She sometimes sees a culture that at times holds prejudices against teachers and education, so she sees her challenge as trying to convince current donors and potential supporters that education has a cost. People aren't used to paying for it, and if there is any money given, whether to the Huntington or any educational institution, it very often goes into a black hole and quickly disappears with very little to show for it. She knows this is what she faces, but she uses her strengths and experience to foster valuable relationships to keep pushing her goals into reality. As a master in her content area and with a PhD in history, I expected fairly different skills that help her day to day. She feels that being a university professor gives her street cred. Her past experience includes prestigious campuses such as Harvard and occasional appearances on PBS, the History Channel, and C-SPAN as an expert in American history. But what helps her to be successful in her job, she says she strives for empathy, to listen to others, and to see the big picture. She feels many of these traits came from learning how to be a woman. Her parents understood the importance of an education, and she pushed herself through college, but they instilled these values in their children. However, she still received the traditional upbringing for a young woman of how to run a home, be an engaging hostess, and establish relationships. Some might see these as unusual skills for the workplace, but Dr. Allgore has used this training in her work at the Huntington and has learned to create a place that is welcoming and where others can feel valued. As for her own professional goals, she still has her own ambitions to create and participate in conversations of race, class, and gender, either with the Huntington or elsewhere. Using the museum as a platform, one has the potential to touch a lot of areas at once: research and scholarly audiences, exhibitions, schools, and public programming. A larger audience can be engaged at a faster rate. More interested in discussions in the big picture, this will enable her to set models of conversation to be exported to other educational institutions. Given her extensive experience and expertise in her content area, she enjoys passing along advice to others wanting to work in education. She urges young professionals to not follow the path she took. To her, PhDs are like greyhounds, a fast and efficient road to success. It's much more important to focus on one area for an undergraduate degree and build the necessary skills from there. Become a master of your content area and then go on to get a doctoral degree in something. One should go to school to get the skills that cannot be learned on the job. A content degree will set you apart. I'm very happy I decided to interview Dr. Catherine Allgore, Director of Education at the Huntington. As she explained her role as hostess in making people feel valued and heard, I've always felt her support pushing my own professional career, and I look forward to the conversations we're bound to have in the future. Thanks for listening.